With the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Cameron Ward, quarterback, Miami.
Now that Cam Ward is officially a Tennessee Titan, everyone wants to know, how does he fit what Brian Callahan wants to do on offense? What is the scheme going to look like with Cam Ward at the controls?
There's nothing more important than Cam Ward and Brian Callahan, their head coach's relationship.
The question isn't how does the quarterback fit in the offense? The question is, what are you going to do with the offense to make it fit the quarterback?
Yeah.
He's going to put him in the gun, he's going to spread things out, and he's going to ask him to attack.
His preference is to hang in there and push it downfield, which could make this Tennessee Titans offense a little bit more interesting.
When you take a player with the number one pick at any position, but especially quarterback, the expectation is at some point throughout that player's career, he's going to be a top 5 player at the position.
So how do you get the most out of Cam Ward's talents? How do you give him the best chance to be a top 5 player at his position? What's up, everyone? Justin Graver here for the Music City Audible channel. Today, we're going to explore that question, looking at the concepts Cam Ward excelled with at Miami in 2024, how Brian Callahan might incorporate those concepts into the Titans offense, and maybe most importantly, what history tells us about this approach with a rookie QB. If you're new to the channel, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like the video, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. Now, before jumping into what the Titans offense might look like this year, let's first consider why this matters. History shows that one of the biggest mistakes an NFL team can make with a rookie quarterback is forcing him into a system that doesn't match his strengths or, more importantly, his experience. Too often, teams try to mold a young QB to fit their scheme, and it backfires. That player struggles, which leads to a loss of confidence, and ultimately, they never live up to their full potential. That's the wrong way to do it. The most effective way to support a rookie quarterback's early development is somewhat obvious. Build an offense around concepts they're already familiar with, plays they've executed well, and let them lean on what they know best as you slowly add in other elements where they may have less experience. Eric Morris, Patrick Mahomes' offensive coordinator at Texas Tech and the only NCAA head coach to offer Cam Ward a scholarship, put it best. The most important thing is
for the coordinator and the play caller at Tennessee to really build off of his skill set. You know, I think Andy Reid did such an incredible job of understanding what Mahomes' skill set was and, you know, building the offense around his skill sets. I thought Cliff Kingsbury did a phenomenal job of that with Jalen Daniels last year.
Fortunately for the Titans, Brian Callahan has had success with this exact strategy.
You see what he did with Joe Burrow when he got him his rookie year?
In 2020, Callahan was Cincinnati's offensive coordinator when the Bengals drafted Joe Burrow first overall out of LSU. Callahan did not overhaul Burrow's game. He built the Bengals offense around what Burrow had mastered at LSU: shotgun spreads, quick timing routes, and vertical passing concepts.
Our goal is to make year 1 in the NFL feel like year 3 at LSU.
That approach, making it feel familiar, helped Burrow throw for over 2,600 yards in just 10 games before a knee injury cut his rookie season short. Callahan is going to take the same approach with Cam Ward, leaning on some of the same strategies they used in Cincinnati to develop Burrow.
There was definitely things that we did developmentally, both in how we taught the scheme, how we introduced it, what we asked of them, how we structured game plans that first year. Those are all things that I've sort of revisited just to have some perspective on what it looks like.
The night the Titans selected Cam Ward, Callahan spoke about his vision for the offense and how they'll maximize Ward's abilities.
We'll make sure that all of the offense that we put in is the things that he's comfortable with, and that's the idea when you're trying to help a young quarterback be successful.
A more recent example of this approach working very well is the Washington Commanders last year with reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jayden Daniels. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury tailored that offense to what Daniels did well at LSU, mixing in plenty of RPOs, deep fades, and other concepts where Daniels was most comfortable, which allowed Daniels to hit the ground running and outperform all expectations for him as a rookie.
I think what you saw, even what we did with Joe Burrow, I think what you saw Cliff do with Jayden Daniels is you find as many things that you can find to where they can have success early and allow them to play fast and play confident.
So let's dive into how Brian Callahan might build this Titans offense around Cam Ward, focusing on those concepts Ward executed best at Miami in 2024 under offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson. These are the core pieces Callahan could pull straight from Ward's college playbook to get him comfortable early. And based on how Callahan handled Burrow's adjustment to the league, I would guess that process is already underway. At the end of the day, most NFL playbooks are full of the same ideas. Yeah, the formations can change, the verbiage they use will differ, but it's not so much about installing the right plays as it is calling those plays more often than others and then finding ways to counter off of those tendencies.
We took a lot of feedback on what he did well at LSU and tried to incorporate as much of that as possible. Now, we have a lot of the same things, and so it's more, do you like this concept? Yes, I do. Okay, well, let's just do a lot of that. And that allows you to get off the ground a bit.
Let's break it down, but first, a reminder that the Music City Audible is presented by Sinkers Beverages, the premier wine, spirits, and beer store in East Nashville. Check out their website, linked in the video description, to join the In Crowd, a free membership that comes with exclusive perks. All right, let's do it. Let's get into the concepts I think we'll see more than any other during Cam Ward's rookie season in Tennessee. The first one we're going to look at is 4 verticals. And this is where we'll spend the most time because this was Cam Ward's bread and butter.
He's got a play that he really likes. We have the play, but he said in very certain words that you better put that play in. And I said, we got it. We're putting it in. Don't worry.
What play might that be?
Switch verts.
Can you kind of talk us through why you like it so much?
Verticals. We window shopping over here.
Designed to stretch the field, 4 verticals can attack defenses by flooding deep zones with multiple threats. It's effective against both middle field open and middle field closed defenses. Miami ran a lot of variations of 4 verts, but the goal is always the same. Force these coverage defenders into tough choices. Put them in conflict. If they commit to one route, another opens up. And Cam Ward is extremely good at finding the open man and delivering strikes down the field.
I think you'd have no hesitation. He likes 4 verticals and he likes switch verticals at that. That's one play I think he runs as good as any quarterback I've ever been around.
Remember, this is coming from Patrick Mahomes, college offensive coordinator. Here's a play from Miami's offense last year. Ward's read starts with the deep safety. If he sits back in cover 2, you might have a post route here splitting the safeties. But, and although this looks like cover 2 pre-snap, it's actually cover 3. This safety rotates to the middle, while the weak side safety blitzes, allowing the seam route to split the deep third zones. Ward identifies it quickly and fires a strike. When facing man coverage, in this case single high man, Ward finds the matchup he likes best and drops this ball right in the bucket. Here, Miami runs 4 verts out of a trips formation with new Titans receiver Xavier Restrepo running a post route against a middle field closed coverage as this safety, number 9, drops deep. The overload of deep routes allows Restrepo to get lost, and Cam Ward spots him for a monster gain that actually ended up setting up the game-winning score in this incredible 25-point second-half comeback. With a QB who can process and make the right read as quickly as Ward does, this concept can also work in the high red area. This is against cover 3, and again, Ward is able to split the safety and the corner, this time for a touchdown, releasing the ball as soon as he hits the top of his drop. Now, switch verts, what Ward said is his favorite concept, is just a variation where a pair, or sometimes both pairs, of these receivers cross each other on their way off the line of scrimmage. In this case, Restrepo goes over the top of Elijah Arroyo. Again, Cal is in a cover 3 look, and it's Arroyo this time who splits the safety and the corner for a huge gain. Here's another example of switch verts. Almost the same play, but this time, because Cal is in a single high man, it gives Xavier Restrepo a chance to work one-on-one in open space, and Ward finds him for another big gain. You may have noticed on that last one, the outside receivers didn't actually run vertical routes. This is another 4 verts variation, which gives the outside receivers the chance to run deep comebacks if the coverage sinks too deep. Here, Ward notices the outside corner expecting a typical 4 verts concept, but the receiver breaks off his route and comes back to the ball. The receiver's hardly started to sink his hips to make his break when Ward is beginning to throw, anticipating his receiver will make the correct adjustment. This concept allows Ward to utilize some of his best abilities: anticipation, aggressiveness, and accuracy. According to Pro Football Focus, Cam Ward had the third highest passing grade on attempts over 20 yards downfield, with 14 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Another staple of Miami's offense was the RPO game, or run-pass option. In particular, I want to look at the RPO Glance concept, which the glance refers to the receiver's route, a 5-step skinny post that gets behind the defense. This concept attacks zone defenses by combining the run threat with a quick passing read. The purpose is to freeze second-level defenders, forcing linebackers to choose between crashing the run or dropping back to cover the pass. If the linebacker doesn't get enough depth, it creates a wide-open passing lane against zone coverage. Here, Ward pulls the ball and fires it over the defender's head. If the offense has a number advantage in the run game, or if the quick passing lane isn't there, Ward can simply hand the ball off to the running back. Last year at Miami, Ward ranked in the top 4 among all FBS quarterbacks for RPO attempts. In this concept, Ward has to make the right read in an instant. And one reason the Miami offense was so good in the RPO game was Ward's ability to make that read, along with his lightning-quick release and accurate ball placement to get the pass away before the defenders can react and put it in the right spot.
He's an excellent RPO quarterback. You certainly saw that at Miami.
He can throw it. His release is one of the quickest releases I've seen, and he's incredibly accurate.
On this one, watch how the linebacker reacts to the run action. Ward quickly recognizes the open space and fires a strike. This concept can also work well in the red zone when you have a quarterback who processes as quickly as Ward does. In the condensed space near the goal line, the read has to be faster, the release has to be quicker, and the ball has to be more accurate. Here's a look at another RPO from Miami's offense, with the outside receiver running a quick stop or a curl, a variation of the RPO glance we've been looking at. In this instance, Ward spots the blitzing cornerback and gets the ball out quickly to his receiver. And finally, let's look at the mesh concept. Mesh is a very popular concept built to confuse zone coverages, especially cover 3 and cover 4, while also creating separation against man. The idea here is to flood these short to intermediate middle of the field areas with shallow crossing routes and options behind them, which forces the linebackers to pick their poison. Here, Ward's initial read is on the linebacker level. If a linebacker sinks deep, the shallow crossers can open up. If linebackers try to jump those crossers, the deeper spot route comes free, as you see here. And against man, you can create a natural pick or rub that frees up one of these crossing receivers. Here, the defender gets caught in space with a lot of traffic to get through, and the receiver has a wide open lane to run to the end zone. On this one, Arroyo gets a little too much of Restrepo's man. Restrepo takes this to the house, but this play's coming back for OPI. Arroyo's got to sell it a little bit better than that. Now, on this concept, Ward has to read the coverage because sometimes it's not about the intermediate shot over the linebackers or the shallow crossers. With this corner here dropping into cover 3 and the linebacker failing to widen, it opens an easy pitch and catch to the corner route on the outside. Ward's quick release and middle field accuracy, an area where PFF graded him at an elite 95.1 grade, made this a lethal concept for Miami. Now, as I said at the top, none of these concepts are foreign ideas to the Titans offense. For Callahan, it's just about leaning more often on the concepts that Ward executes best.
There's some things that he did in college that he was really successful at. There's some plays that we have some commonalities on. I think if you dive into the film, you'll see it.
Okay, so taking Callahan's advice, let's dive into that film. Here's an example of the Titans running 4 verts last season where Will Levis makes the wrong read, throwing it up into double coverage. This throw should hit the wide open post route up the seam, a ball Cam Ward throws as well as anyone.
And that was his best play. He was able to rip seams better than any quarterback I've ever been around.
Here's the Titans running a mesh variation against man coverage. This has not 1 but 2 natural picks that help free up Calvin Ridley. And finally, this isn't quite an RPO, it's actually a designed play fake with Nick Westbrook-Akina running that glance route behind it. Now the Titans could run it like this, or they can tweak it to include the run option. Either way, this is a concept the Titans will likely go to way more often in 2025. Knowing how Callahan approached Joe Burrow's rookie year, I have no doubt he will do the same with Cam Ward. In fact, he said so multiple times.
He said, I'm going to go about this process a lot like me and Zach Taylor did with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
There is a clear path here to easing Ward's transition to the NFL with familiar passing concepts. And we know Cam Ward is ready to take the reins of this offense as well.
Cam was really confident in all the conversations and pre-draft meetings that he had with him. I know Cam felt like they had a good connection, felt like they had a really good plan for him, were on the same page with a lot of things, and didn't feel like, they were going to try to restrict him at any point.
I just think a lot of stuff translates over from what I did at Miami, even at Wazoo and UIW. It's a real quarterback-friendly offense.
The most important thing here is Brian Callahan has a plan, and that plan does not include forcing Ward to do things he isn't comfortable doing, all of which should allow him to be productive and effective in his rookie season. That's my breakdown. Those are the concepts I expect to see the most this season for the Titans. But what do you think? Can these concepts help Ward hit the ground running? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And again, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the Music City Audible podcast for more Tennessee Titans coverage. Until next time, y'all stay safe out there and tighten up.